Once upon a time, there was a world full of laughter. Then a virus hit, and the whole thing was a disaster. But we got a show to let you know it's alright. It's alright. Even though it's only once a week, we guarantee you a front row seat at the Comedy Cellar Nightly Show once a week.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Comedy Cellar Nightly Show. My name is Dave Juskow. It is Tuesday at 7 on the East Coast, and that's when we do this little show of ours. We continue to do it after the pandemic, but the Comedy Cellar is open to its unbelievable 33%, whatever that is. And all the clubs, I think there are 4 clubs open now, the top, the bottom, and then the other place in the Village Underground with the top and the bottom. So you can go see a live comedy show at the beautiful Comedy Cellar. And that, of course, is the most important thing. As always, you can press the donate button in the chat room if you feel inclined to do so. And I will just tell you this right now, our band leader, Colin Smith, he has his new single called The Tree. It is coming out this Friday, and you can pre-save or pre-order on your preferred music servers on the link provided by our producer, Mike, in the comments section today. If you click on the link, you can pre-order and pre-save Colin's new song. But let's get to the prepared material today. Well, what's in the news today? Let's see. Former Vice President and 1984 Democratic presidential candidate Walter Mondale has died at the age of 93. That's 80 more than his electoral vote total. I don't know where people go when they die, but wherever it is, they can be sure that Mondale's spirit is being beaten to a pulp by the ghost of Ronald Reagan. Politics is funny. The oldest living American, Hester Ford, has died at the age of 116. She leaves behind 125 great-grandchildren, 120 great-great-grandchildren, and 543 piles of old newspapers. That's what old people do. And finally, a viral video captured a man saving his wife from a bobcat attack by grabbing the animal and tossing it across his lawn. His wife commented, "So you can throw a bobcat, but you can't throw out the garbage." They're Jewish.
Gilbert's taking that one. Not going into the set.
That's
all right. Let's
my
introduce
opener.
our guests this evening. They are the hosts of the extremely successful Gilbert Gottfried's Amazing Colossal Podcast, which can be found on multiple platforms and on the Sirius XM Comedy Greats channel. On Thursday, May 13th, they will be doing the podcast live in front of a virtual audience through the Nowhere Comedy Club. Please say hello to the legendary Gilbert Gottfried and Frank Santopadre, everybody. Hello, guys.
Can I compliment you on that theme song?
Oh, that's Colin's. Colin did it.
Nice work, Colin.
That's, I mean, it's got everything. The upbeat music, and it's got that things can go wrong, but everything's going to be okay. All that's lacking is it should end with a Miller Boyette production.
I was
It's a TGIF sitcom.
Going right.
Damn, it's not too late to do a remix, Gilbert.
It's like I love all those sitcom songs. It was always like the lyrics were, "Hey, we can. Sometimes we feel sad. Sometimes things are going wrong. But as long as we're together, we'll be happy." And that's the song.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure. For some reason, the theme to Growing Pains always goes through my. Show me that smile you wear, as long as we're together. I'm pretty sure that's the theme, right? So
I think theme song written by Gilbert's old boss, Alan Thicke.
Oh, right.
That's right.
Did he write that one? We know he wrote Different Strokes. He also wrote the Growing Pains one.
Family Ties.
I'm sure he wrote
too,
that one.
No, he didn't write
Different Strokes?
No, he did.
Oh, he did.
Yeah, Alan Thicke definitely wrote Different Strokes.
What was the one you just sang, Dave? Growing Pains?
It takes different strokes to rule the world. It takes different strokes to rule the world.
Yes, this is the most 420 beginning to this.
I was actually with Gilbert I guess just before, last summer, 2 summers ago would be, where he got high on stage for the first time like ever with Jeff Ross and David Tell. Remember that?
Yes.
Long Island.
Yeah, I hadn't gotten high for like decades.
Yeah.
And I figured if I'm going to do it, I want to do it with, 500 witnesses. So and so that night, I remember I felt good afterwards. And then I ran into Jeff Ross at the Comedy Cellar, and we got together in some doorway. We did it again. I felt great. And then there was a party for the podcast, and it was packed with people. And I did it with Jeff then, and I was practically seeing green men chasing me. It was horrible.
I was there when we were getting high outside afterwards. That's when I gave you your Dracula doll for your birthday. I remember now. It just occurred to me as you were saying it, which means I've been with you twice when you've been high. But Jeff's been there all
that would
through.
explain a lot from that evening, Gil.
Yeah. And then it's like my wife called for a car for me, like an Uber, and I was like standing by the doorway going, how do I get from the doorway to the car? How is this? And is this guy gonna take me to my home, or is he gonna, just drive off with me somewhere?
It's weird that the third time you did it was the more paranoid time. The other two were blissful endeavors.
Yeah.
By the way, Dave, Alan Thicke did not compose the Growing Pains theme. I stand corrected.
I don't know why I knew that, but
A composer named Steve Dorff.
oh, he was good.
Yeah,
He was good. No, I don't.
probably
But
not.
we all are in agreement that he did the Different Strokes theme, though, right?
I believe so.
Yeah.
And one or two others. A couple of game show themes, too.
Right.
And he also did the theme to a show that I was a regular on for about, 10 episodes. Thick of the Night.
Oh, Thick of the Night.
Yeah.
I know that one because the SCTV version, Maudlin of the Night, is one of my favorite sketches of all time.
Yes.
Joe Flaherty, they were doing Thick of the Night. And Martin Short is Howie Mandel. And I don't know. It was Fred Silverman's idea from NBC to come on Maudlin of the Night, and he came out and he sang a song, and he was trying to push Johnny aside, and then he did a split, and he hurt his back, and then they had to cut to a commercial.
And the song there, Alan Thicke both wrote and performed.
That's right.
And since you're asking, it went as follows. Mama, don't leave the light on. I'm on the road tonight. Everyone needs a place to hold on. I'm gonna make it on my own. Running in the thick of the night, under the city lights. Running in the thick of the night.
I
Beautiful.
totally remember that too.
Beautiful.
I thought you were doing an Alan Thicke imitation before, but it
Wasn't Belzer a regular Gil or a semi-regular?
Yes.
no, he definitely was, because they had a guy playing Belzer in the Maudlin of the Night.
There you go.
Yeah.
And then later on, I was let go. And then, they had as a co-host Arsenio Hall.
Really?
Yeah.
Maybe
Wow.
that's how that morphed into the Arsenio Hall show. What, that was not done in Canada? That was here in the U.S.?
Yeah. It was here it was in L.A.
Fred Silverman joint, as I recall. Gil.
Oh, so they again, SCTV. That's why they were making fun. Well, me and Freddie Silverman got together, and we. Oh, you got to see that, Frank. Do you know that sketch?
I don't, but
You got to watch it later.
But on the subject of Fred Silverman, we recently had on the podcast Jeff Altman from the infamous Pink Lady and Jeff.
Oh my goodness.
So that's coming up.
Yeah. Oh well, that'll be interesting, right? So if you don't know, Frank, explain the Pink Ladies and Jeff to our viewing audience.
How do you explain it? Pink Lady was a Japanese singing duo that was supposed to be bigger than the Beatles. In Japan, maybe they were. And Fred Silverman got the idea to pair them with an American comic. Poor Jeff Altman drew the short straw, I guess. And the one problem with that show was they spoke no English.
The girls spoke no English.
None. Yeah.
Wow.
No, Jeff Altman spoke no English. The girls spoke perfect English. Jeff Altman
How many
had
episodes
to
did they
learn
make
it
of that?
phonetically.
I think there may have been 6 or 7 and maybe one that didn't air.
Yeah, Colin, it's known as like one of the worst bombs in television history.
Yes.
Poor Jeff Altman again.
And Colin, I loved you in 8 Mile, by the way. So don't whatever Juskow isn't paying you.
Hey, Gilbert, you're well, first of all, you guys are doing your podcast for the first time virtually, and you got Weird Al on.
We do them virtually every week. We just do them without an audience.
Right, but this time you're having an audience, and you got Weird Al. But then this Friday, Gilbert, you're doing for the Nowhere Comedy Club Without a Net. And what is that? You're improvise, no material. The audience throws it out.
No, it means Annette Funicello will not be on the show. It'll be comedy without Annette, and it'll be without Frankie Avalon either.
All my comedy is
or Eric Von Zipper.
No, it's one of these things. I've done it before where they just they'll throw out a line. And you just on the spot have to turn it into a comedy bit. So if it sucks, at least I have an excuse this time.
You do sound like the perfect person for that. Sounds like a lot of fun. That's this Friday, right? You can get tickets.
Yeah, at nowherecomedyclub.com.
That's exciting. I remember I saw, in fact, you guys will appreciate this. I saw an improv group in LA many years ago called Without a Net. That was the name of the thing. Like they were supposed to be this edgy improv group, but they completely had a net because they had a guy when somebody yelled out James Joyce, this girl just looked at him like, I have no idea who that is. And the guy's like, like an Irish kind of Dublin or, so there was a net. But the worst part was, or the best part for us, was that I was sitting there and I recognized Howard Borden's son from the Bob Newhart show, Moosey Dryer.
Moosey! Moosey was on Laughing.
The improv group, yes. This was about 15 years ago, probably.
Wow, what a reference.
And the worst part was, go ahead, sorry.
No, that's like these comedians on stage who they'll like start riffing with the audience. And they'll go like, hey, so what do you do for a living? And they'll go, I work in a grocery store. And they'll go, hey, you probably take a cab to the grocery store, and these cab drivers never speak English. And what do? I'm a dentist. Well, last week I had a toothache, so I had to rush to the dentist. So, of course, I took a cab. And these cab drivers don't speak English.
This is why I never talk to the audience. I have nothing to say. So, right, unless you're Dave Attell or Gilbert, there is no reason to think that you are a legendary improviser, unless also that night, now that I remember it because it was fascinating, Wayne Rogers' daughter was there. And when they said to scream something out, he said, how about MASH? And everybody laughed. And I'm like, what an asshole. He left MASH because he was so angry. Look at this guy. I don't know. Look how mad I am still at this. 20 years later, I'm still angry at Wayne Rogers' daughter. I got a problem. But what do you think about these cab drivers? All right, no. I'm going to share
I'm
my
an astronaut. Well, you took a rocket, but imagine if you took a cab. These cab drivers don't speak English.
I just came for the Moosey Dryer reference.
I think you would. You guys can see my screen, right?
Who's the other guy? Who's the other guy? I forget his name now. Oh, shit.
What?
I have it on the tip of my tongue. He did the Hormel.
Oh, Mason Reese.
Mason Reese.
I remember, right.
Mason was at our live show that night.
Yeah, right. I saw him that night.
The night you're talking about.
Yeah. A living legend, Mason Reese.
Underwood Deviled Ham.
Yeah, Deviled Ham. Smorgasbord.
And good Mason Reese got there by cab.
He's a good egg, Mason.
Well, this is the news portion of the show.
There's a news portion of the show?
Well, whatever it is.
You Eric Severide?
It's not as good as the weather portion.
No, that comes up later. This is the Donald Trump Jr. takes on new role as top advisor inside the Trump family, which of course these spoke to me like this somehow. Like he's gonna be a member of the family. I figured Gilbert would appreciate it. That's the way they treat the Trump family and all these kids. They're presidents with their rotten kids. This Donald Trump Jr., this Hunter Biden. They're not the Al Pacinos we were looking for. You know.
Get a cab reference out of that, Gil.
Hey, one time Al Pacino was doing a movie and he got to the set in a cab. And, those,
Purple Urkel.
Wait, Urkel.
Well, I had to put this one out today. He's launching his own cannabis brand of Purple Urkel. We had to talk about it today. It's not that big, but we had to mention some sort of weed reference today. And
wow,
even Urkel is getting into the cannabis. Hopefully, this guy's got a lot of money. It would just be sad, He single-handedly saved CBS for a while when they moved the show from ABC to CBS. I hope that guy has a lot of money. Seems like a nice kid.
That was one of those cases where, in the first couple of seasons, he's like 3 feet tall and got a high-pitched voice. And then all of a sudden, he's like 6'4".
Yeah.
And he's
48.
got
Low voice.
Yeah, and got a deep voice, and it's like, oh, this is like an adult who's brain damaged.
Right, but you're also like, thank God, because he didn't end up like Gary Coleman or Webster, which just they never grew. So you were almost like, well, good, it spoils the show, but at least for the future, he'll be okay.
Well,
it was very dark, Dave.
With Webster and Gary Coleman, both of them, I heard complain that, they're on the show and they both look like little kids. They might have been in their mid-40s or something. And when they'd say, okay, let's go to this set, and whatever adult was there would pick them up and put them on his shoulders. And, when you're a grown man, that's kind of disturbing.
Which is the perfect segue, Dave, into the death of Felix Silla, who played Cousin It.
Oh, is that right?
Passed away this week.
Oh, I didn't even know anybody in particular was under the.
As long as we're talking about diminutive people.
Midgets.
Well, I thought for sure Gilbert was going to use to pick them up and put them in a cab. I thought that's right for sure where you were headed.
And the problem that Webster and Gary Coleman had was these cab drivers don't speak English.
This is a Buddhist festival in Thailand that happened a few weeks ago, and I guess it was virtual. I guess that's what this is. But to me, tell me they don't just look like a bunch of DVDs, like a DVD rack.
I was hoping they were.
Well, that's what I thought they were.
Yeah.
Charles in Charge complete series. Just all lined up in a row.
So let me see if I remember. All I remember that is Charles in charge of our days and our nights.
Right.
I want Charles in charge of me.
That's right. That's
And
exactly
what did Willie Ames go on to do, Dave Juskow?
Zapped?
Well, not only zapped, Gilbert's favorite, but he starred as a biblical superhero called Bible Man.
No way. That's right. I heard he went that way, but I didn't know he starred as a biblical superhero.
Yes, look it up.
Oh my. Oh my.
Oh my. George's birthday to Kay.
I feel like I went to go get a coffee, but I wandered in through the wrong door, and now I'm locked in a comic store with like a bunch of geeks.
This is a ring-tailed lemur that is in a German zoo. That this was taken this week, and I took it out of the pictures because it looked just like this.
Wow.
In the film.
Gilbert, what Lori picture is that?
That's Mad Love.
Mad
That
Love.
is correct.
Very good.
Wow.
Yeah.
I knew you guys would
think
know.
I think is Colin Clive in that too.
He
Dr.
may be.
Frankenstein?
That one was directed by the Mummy guy, Carl Freund.
Yes,
So
and
good.
yeah, Peter Lorre's in love with this girl, and
Who's this
he's
woman down here? I had it
Oh,
before.
what was her name?
Got it.
I got to look that one up.
Oh.
Hands of Orlok.
Yeah.
And which Who is he in this movie?
Oh, that's Maltese Falcon.
That's Wilmer the Gunsel.
With the William Shatner hairpiece, mind you.
Gilbert,
But,
give him a little bit of Wilmer the Gunsel, Gil.
Okay. Well, first Sidney Grinchard goes, it's fake. It's phony. It's a fake. No, it's you who ruined it. You, with your stupid attempt to buy it. Kevin found out how valuable it was. No wonder he had such an easy time getting it. You idiot! You blundering fathead! You bloated idiot!
That's
Amazing! Oh God,
That's so good. And we go back to the
Top
Gilbert
drawer.
game. And then I go to another one of Gilbert's best imitations and heroes.
Ah,
Yeah.
Listen to them, children of the night. What music they make.
So great.
That's my favorite that you do, I think. And this, I always like these publicity photos.
Yeah.
Yes.
I had never seen this before. So it's so, to us when we were kids, this we thought this movie must have made a fortune, but I guess it didn't make money and it didn't cost anything to make because this is their publicity budget.
Yeah,
in
you'd
front of
think
a
they'd
scrim.
draw a picture of a haunted house behind.
Yeah, like, look, it was a publicity shoot. They're like, come on, guys,
Yeah.
do this, and then we'll have you lift it up.
Gilbert, who had the biggest porn collection in Hollywood?
Bud Abbott,
Is that right?
the straight man of Abbott and Costello, he had the largest porn collection.
Him and Red Skelton.
And that was like, it was like reel to reel, right? It was
Stag
like
films.
six.
and
stag
Red
films.
Skelton was this like, good night, may God bless. And meanwhile, he had porn.
You gotta like these publicity stunt photos because only an idiot would pose like this. Oh, I'm sorry. Thank you, folks.
A classic.
So I don't know whether you guys saw that. I never watched The Masked Singer, but obviously this caught my eye. Grandpa Munster is revealed as the Masked Singer, and we all know there's no way that could be Grandpa Munster underneath. I don't know if you know The Masked Singer. They sing and then they release their stupid costumes, and it's some jerk off we never heard of before, but it's supposed to be somebody famous.
Well, it's Grandpa Monster, not Grandpa Munster.
Well, of course, I didn't notice that at first, but this is who we're thinking of course.
Mm-hmm.
Reading the classic issue of Playghoul.
Great Al Lewis.
And that's who I was hoping it was. Meanwhile, here is the scene where they have the reveal from this guy, and it's very clear to me no one knows who he is.
Show us what's under that bald spot. Take it off. Take it off. Take it off. Take it off. I'm freaking out. Who is this? Come on, Grandpa. Take it off. Woo! It's Logan Paul. Oh my God! I cannot believe that. Internet personality.
It's internet personality Logan Paul, everybody.
Wow.
Yeah, it's like they should have yelled out, "Oh, it's a guy who's not clean shaven."
Exactly. I'm positive that everyone on that panel is over 40 at least. They don't know who the hell this guy is.
What I love about that show is they guess the names of celebrities who would never be caught dead.
Right.
Is it Johnny Depp?
Yeah. And then they say, it's Logan Paul, internet sensation. And then like she had to name his credits so people would know who he was.
Wow.
It's pretty goddamn bad.
Wow.
Here's what's happening.
Daniel Day-Lewis.
Gilbert and Daniel Day-Lewis have something in common.
What's that?
Tell him,
both
Gil.
played Lincoln.
Oh, that's right.
Both played Abraham Lincoln on the big screen.
Yeah, I was in Million Ways to Die in the West, and he was in the longer version. And everyone who saw him, as Lincoln said, well, he's no Gilbert Gottfried.
He was in the longer version.
What was the secret to your performance as Lincoln there, Gilbert?
The what?
What was the secret to your performance?
I actually shot myself in the head to prepare.
Get it over with quicker.
Hey, thanks for the plug, Dave.
Yeah, of course. This is happening May 13th. It's the Special Nowhere Comedy Club. You can get tickets there, and you can see them virtually do the podcast with Weird Al Yankovic, the also living legend. That should be really fun. You guys do the best podcast. It is my favorite one, besides my own, of course.
You're sweet.
But it really is. And for us, look what we're talking about. That first you had a Malcolm McDowell 2-parter, which was completely riveting. Wow. And after that, I actually watched all of Caligula, the entire non-cut version, because I had to watch that Vaseline scene talking about in your podcast.
Yep. The Crisco.
Really terrific. They have a great podcast, people.
And right as we were wrapping it up with Malcolm McDowell, where we said, we've had you on so long.
Oh, he said I got to go to dinner. Yeah,
he had to go to dinner. And then he threw in one story at the end that he and John Gielgud were filming Caligula, and they're standing talking, and they see something on the screen, and they can't make it out. And they said, what's that thing on the screen? And they realized it was Helen Mirren's asshole.
Also a great name for a band.
Yeah. and one of the people who tweet us said, to have seen Helen Mirren's asshole in its prime.
In its prime.
Yeah, that was his button at the end of that episode.
That's something to say. That's great when your guest has that right. They leaves you with that. That's that won't happen today, I don't think. But I just like this picture. But there's the
a classic.
The classic publicity photo.
Yes, with my rented tux.
With the yoo-hoo, the delicious yoo-hoo on the side over there. And here is the show from last year, only a year ago, just before everything shut down. Gilbert's birthday, his wife's birthday, the 300th podcast. I took this picture myself. I was lucky enough to be there, the cutting room. Richard Kind doing a little reading. There's Frank, there's Gilbert. Who's this guy on the piano?
That is my friend Seth Saltzman, who's a big shot at ASCAP.
Because everyone who played the piano that night was bald. That's why I got confused. Paul Schaefer, David Yazbek. That's why I was positive it wasn't either of them. And here, of course, is Frank and Jeff Ross and me and David Yazbek.
And
Rogowski, right?
That Esty in the background?
Alan Zweibel. What did you say, Colin?
That looked like Esty in the background there.
Oh, here? It wasn't.
Oh, okay.
But it did look like her. And here's Tom Leopold. David Yazbek, Paul Schaefer.
Buddy Mantilla.
Who?
Buddy Mantilla.
Where?
Up in the left in the brown.
Oh, yeah. I just saw him now.
Oh, this guy here?
Yeah. He used to be in a comedy group, a famous comedy group called the Untouchables.
Really?
Right, Gil?
Yes. With, Marvin Braverman and Bobby Alto.
Correct.
Was he the one hanging out with...
Barbara Feldon. There
Feldon.
she is.
Yeah. Who and Gilbert got her to say after he named his kid after her, you're like, you got her to say, "Oh, Max."
Yeah, my son's name is Max, so anytime I can get her on the phone, I put Max on, and she goes, "Oh, Max."
He's the best.
Yeah, when Frank and I interviewed Barbara Feldon, we went to her house, and we got there, and there was like a fresh pitcher of lemonade, and there were like chopped up fruits and nuts and
cookies.
Yeah, cookies too. Yeah.
I met her for a second, and she seemed like an absolute doll.
She's lovely.
Like, really nice, and looks amazing.
Yes, she does.
She's almost 90, right? She looks great.
You and Jeff look very jolly in that picture.
Well, this is a dream come true for us. The Oscars this year suck, as we know, because I usually see at least 7 to 10 of the nominees. I haven't seen any of these. I don't care. And I'm a big Oscars guy. I love the Oscar, like betting on it. I'm not doing anything this year. 75 years ago, this was the Best Actor category. Laurence Olivier, Gregory Peck, James Stewart, and Gilbert's favorite, the Al Jolson story.
See, I more so than the Al Jolson story, I like when Larry Parks came back in Jolson Sings Again.
Yeah.
Oh, I knew he would have a story.
And there's a terrible Patty Duke split screen. And Larry Parks as Larry Parks.
Yes.
Meets Larry Parks as Al Jolson.
Really?
And they say to Larry Parks as Al Jolson, meet Larry Parks. And he goes, Larry Parks will play you. And Larry Parks as Al Jolson is there going, no, he doesn't look anything like me. And
how the hell did Larry Parks, Gilbert, get an Oscar nomination that year?
Well, that
For
things were
playing
different.
Jolson.
Again, 75 years ago. Now, 50 years ago, I only put this because, Walter Matthau happens to be now. Wouldn't it be interesting if somebody was to do a Walter Matthau imitation?
You left notes on my pillow. I told you 1,000 times I don't like little notes on my pillow. We are out of cornflakes, F.U. It took me 3 hours to figure out that F.U. meant Felix Unger.
I set you up, but it's one of my favorite imitations. You do it definitely.
Good movie, The Hospital.
Really? I've never seen that.
Yeah. And Koch, that movie there, you already took the screen
That's
off.
okay.
Koch was directed by Walter's longtime buddy, Jack Lemmon.
Oh, wow. Shut up. I didn't know that. I didn't know he did any directing. That's interesting. That's only, that's 50 years ago. And now 75 years ago, the Best Actress category back then, I put Olivia de Havilland, when she just died in August.
Yeah.
Like 116. And I only put it up because, as the three of us know at least, this is where I found out who Olivia de Havilland was.
Guess who? Eddie Lamar? Nope. Well, Carol Lombard? Rosemary Wayne? Nope. Olivia de Havilland? Nope, but you're getting warmer.
That's my favorite. He's getting warmer.
That's like the perfect Elmer Fudd name.
It's a classic. Oh, this really quickly. I just bet you know how like when you're
that's a tough
online.
One.
What?
Yeah, right.
That's a tough one.
Yeah.
You know, when you're going online and you see the right, and you see this, can you name the right? And so I see these things. Can you name these iconic actors? This is not a joke. I did not Photoshop this, and I went through the list, and obviously they're very. And they said a lot of people can't guess these. Of course, you know it's ridiculous, right? We all know. And they give you the clues. He famously feuded with Bill Murray. I don't think that's a help. I mean, I know what we know what movie.
30 years after this picture was taken.
Yeah, exactly. So and Steve McQueen, Dustin Hoffman, Warren Beatty, Charlton Heston. Would you ever disagree that any of these actors are not iconic?
No.
Well, then how do you explain this one? How the fuck did Eric Estrada get into the iconic actors category? I mean, what the fuck? The only other person that was in there that maybe was Larry Hagman, but you could still make a case because we worship him.
He was a bit of an icon.
Of course, but yeah. Eric Estrada?
You know what's even sadder is I know which issue of Mad that is.
Oh, that's right. Frank used to write for Mad Magazine. Well, let me tell you about Frank. Frank could do this exact picture, and he has.
Yeah. same tuxedo as the other picture.
And Frank and I have discussed Wisp and Quake several times.
Oh, I used to love Quake. That was an orange cereal. I loved it.
Well, Quake didn't start out as an orange cereal. He started out tasting just like Quisp.
Oh.
But then they were pitted against each other to see in a battle to the death because only one cereal would survive, and Quisp won. So Quake was reinvented as an orange cereal.
Yeah, Colin, did you grow up in the States?
I did not. I grew up in Ireland.
So you have these were 1970s. They had these sugar cereals.
I have my.
Oh, that's them.
Wow.
This is my
That's
Quisp. This is my Quisp iron-on patch from 1967.
I loved that cereal. I loved those commercials.
And back then, you could imitate someone's voice in a commercial. So Quisp was like a Jerry Lewis imitation,
right.
And I think Quake was a John Wayne.
Right. He wasn't there a third cereal too that they tried and didn't work out?
Well, Quisp and Quake both tasted like Cap'n Crunch because they were made from the same formula.
I always like Quisp better because it's less tough on your teeth. I actually
the cereal
have
you're
Quisp
thinking about was
now. The what?
The orange cereal you're thinking about was they brought back Quake and reimagined him as an Australian cowboy.
Oh, the kangaroo.
Quangaroos.
Right. That's what I was thinking of. You're right.
Right.
It was an orange cereal. It was quite delicious.
Yes. And then there was King Vitaman, which also tasted like both of those cereals.
That I still think they have. That's more like Captain Crunch.
And there was a cereal that was like a combination of 3 other cereals, just mixing the boxes together, just mixing them into one box. And it was called Triple Treat.
Oh, that I don't know at all.
Wow, Gil, you stumped me.
Yeah, and the theme song was, it's a cereal, it's a snack, it's new, Kellogg's Triple Treat, will get you if you don't watch out.
I don't remember that one at all, Frank.
I don't either, Gil. I'm impressed.
It's incredible.
And I even remember the theme song. Well, this isn't a cereal. This was women's underwear. They had a women's underwear that was a paper underwear. It was disposable underwear. Wow. So that way you could walk down the street and wipe your ass at the same time. and they said, there's a new very good. There's a new very beautiful bikini. It's fancy pants, the paper panties.
I never heard that in my life.
Don't remember that one. But Gil, to do a callback for Dave, who was the voice of Boo Berry?
Oh,
what actor were they doing the voice of?
Oh, was that Boris Karloff?
Peter Lorre.
Yeah.
Peter Lorre, right.
Yeah, Karloff was the Frankenberry.
Yes, and Lugosi was
Count Chocula.
Count Chocula.
Right.
And then for years, and this was more recent, there was Columbo yogurt with a guy doing a Peter Falk imitation.
Very good.
Really?
Yes. I've forgotten that actor's name. Yeah. Bob McFadden was the guy who did the Karloff and the Lugosi cereals and Boo Berry.
And then whatchamacallit with the pickles.
Classic Pickles, the guy who did Groucho.
Yeah. And that was Snyder, wasn't
Pat Harrington.
it? Yeah, Pat Harrington.
Pat Harrington?
Yeah, from One Day at a Time.
Wow.
Doing
that's
Groucho.
so interesting.
One day at a time. One day at a time.
That's pretty funny. That's how do you like that? I didn't know that was Schneider. That's fascinating to me. I love that we all know that stuff. Colin is lost.
This is the first episode that I've been on that the Venn diagram doesn't come near me at all. Like
Right.
I've had
Colin,
nothing to
if
contribute.
you want to learn a lot of meaningless shit, listen to our podcast.
I am glued to it.
Obviously,
Yeah.
I said it is my favorite, but it is time now for Colin to play a little musical number for us this evening.
Yeah. Well, yet again this week, not yet again, but this was one of those weeks when I didn't know what to play, so I thought of this.
Well, he was going to play "Springtime for Hitler" for us, but he couldn't get it together in time.
I couldn't get it
It's supposed to
together.
be a surprise.
I know. Sorry.
It is Hitler's birthday and my mother's.
So it is Hitler's birthday, and we haven't said a thing this whole time.
Well, nobody
Hitler
really
shares a birthday with Mr. Sulu.
Oh yeah, and my mother.
There you go.
Well, that says a
wow.
lot.
And Clint Howard.
Oh really? April 20th. It's a big. That's a big.
So when in doubt, I always go just with some Beatles.
Sounds good to me.
All right. Born a poor young country boy, Mother Nature's son. So all day long I'm sitting singing songs for everyone. Yes, sit beside a mountain stream, see her waters rise. Listen to the pretty sound of music as she flies. Do 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 will find me in my field of grass, Mother Nature's son. Swaying daisies, sing a lazy song beneath the sun. Do 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 do.
Oh yeah, that was
Beautiful.
amazing.
What a talent.
Thanks.
Those guys behind you would be proud.
Thanks, Dads.
Does he know the King Vitamin jingle?
I don't. But
King
Gilbert
Vitamin,
does.
have breakfast,
Have breakfast
with the king.
King Vitamin.
What's the
Get
matter
a
with
sweet
us?
corn taste and all the vitamins you need.
What's the matter with us?
It's perfect.
How
I got you on
embarrassing.
that
I
one,
just
Gil.
played one of the greatest songs I've heard him play since we started the show, and the Beatles, and then we get back with the King Vitamin theme. Very
I
embarrassing.
rewrote the ending there, but like it's fine. I'm sure they wouldn't mind.
No, they won't mind.
It's very impressive.
Yeah,
Thanks.
that was great, Colin. Good
Nice
work.
job, Colin.
Thanks, buddy.
That is our show for this evening. The guys, the Gilbert Gottfried's amazing Colossal podcast, is doing a live virtual show at the Nowhere Comedy Club. That's May 13th, I believe it was. I said, right? I think I said that.
Yes, sir. May 13th.
13th with Weird Al. And this Friday, Gilbert will be doing let me just say, get the audience shouts out, or do they just give you?
No, somebody will be coming up with something and they'll print it on screen. And
they print it on screen. Okay.
Not
right.
knowing
And
ahead of time.
that's super. I mean, that should be a blast. That's this Friday for Gilbert. And obviously, you have other episodes. Where can you catch the amazing Colossal podcast, Frank?
You can get it anywhere, or you can go to our website, gilbertpodcast.com. You can listen to it on Sirius Radio on the Comedy Greats channel. You can listen to it on SoundCloud or Podbay or Spotify, or as they say, anywhere fine podcasts are sold.
Oh, and,
Right.
and nowherecomedyclub.com.
And nowherecomedyclub.com for Gilbert's show on Friday.
That's this Friday coming up.
What?
Right, must be yelling at him.
And with Weird Al. And also, if you want a video shout out from me, cameo.com/Gilbert Gottfried.
Right. And Colin Smith, his new song The Tree comes out this Friday. And like I said, you can pre-order the link in the chat room and on all your favorite.
See, that looked like House of Wax.
Yeah, your filter went
Get
crazy.
this man a paddle ball.
Yeah.
Sometimes
The paddle ball was the only part of House of Wax that worked. The
He's
rest
not wrong.
the rest made you dizzy, but the ball actually, wow, it does look like it's coming out. The rest of it looked like a
it's
pop-up
3D.
card.
Right. Got
Yeah.
that. I understand.
We got to do an episode all about 3D movies, Gil.
Wow.
Just make sure you mention the SCTV stuff again that they used to do.
And
Dr.
I've yet to see, I think there were maybe 2 Three Stooges movies in a haunted house that were done in 3D, and people have told me it wasn't bad.
I've never
Really?
seen them.
I never seen that either. I didn't even know.
But I would like to plug Dave Juskow's appearance on our podcast on the Odd Couple 50th anniversary episode,
Yeah, that was super fun.
which people can find.
Yes, that was really super fun. In fact, I was just telling Mike today, the producer here at the Cellar, we were just talking about the Howard Cosell episode where Oscar doesn't want him to read the paper, and that one of the girls in the bikinis goes down like, "Well, I had to get the paper because Mr. Cosell, Mr. Madison wrote an article about Mr. Cosell," and Oscar goes, "Oh, but you're too pretty to read."
This Arroyo, the culmination of a live stream.
A cacophony. What is it? How does he say that? A cacophony. Well, I can't pronounce it. I'm not good at it. But anyway, that is our show for this week. Next week, we're going to have Colin's friend, who I have just discovered. He's amazing. Another musician. His name is Julian Villard. He's amazing. He's going to be here next week to sing and play. And also comedian Liz Mealy, who has her book, Why Cats Are Assholes, out in stores right now. So definitely join us next week. Remember to go to the Comedy Cellar. It is open for business if you are in New York City. Also, the Las Vegas Comedy Cellar is now open, if you can believe it, with the great Mark Cohen as the house MC. So,
Lady, that's my back.
That's right. Burr is murder. That's my back. A classic Mark Cohen line, which you probably guarantee you will do if you go see him tomorrow.
A funny man, Mark Cohen.
You like the classics. But anyway, that's our show for this week, guys. Thanks so much for coming on, and we will see you next Tuesday night at 7. Good night, everybody.
And your name again?